Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Ash Brent here with you on a Wednesday morning. Glad you're all here. Going to be a nice day. Looking at the weather, brought to you by the great folks at here on Hayfeed and Ranch Services. What are we looking at today? I think we're heading to
68 degrees under cloudy skies in Victoria, Texas, heading to a high today of 81. It appears it's going to be cloudy all day today, tomorrow. Friday, and actually kind of get sunny over the weekend. 67, 67, 67. A little cooler on Saturday at 57, but cloudy for the next several days.
Those are the lows or those are the highs?
Yeah, the lows. Yeah. 81 to 84 are the highs.
Scott Tomko, Greg Garcia, Ricky King on the podium this morning. Glad you're all here. Thanks for checking in. Marvin Mickish, Bobby Leister, Scott Snow, Rena Shearer, Michelle Wilson-Hawkins, Commander, Linda Chris, Jordan Glass, Tammy Killing, Patrick Strauss, Micah Patton. So why
am I getting this? That's what I want to know. I want to know why I'm getting a Victoria Central Appraisal District business personal property rendition of taxable property spreadsheet. And I want to know why they send me a bunch of paperwork to fill out so they can tax us on aged electronic equipment that we bought with after-tax dollars that we did not write off. I don't understand.
And I already paid sales tax on it.
I already paid sales tax on it. I just don't understand. And I don't think it's right. And you may say to me, well, that's how the county funds what the county does. Okay, so some people make a bunch of money, spend it on booze and hookers, and waste the rest. And
how do you tax the hookers?
And they're fine. We spend our money, after-tax money, on assets. And now we have to account for those. We have to depreciate those. We have to pay taxes again for simply owning those. If the answer is, well, that's just the way it is, that's something we ought to address. The idea that the government, in whatever rationalization they want to have, can come back and tax you because you spend your money responsibly is absurd. It's absurd. Mostly because, not because I can't get this down to where I send them $50, because I can't. It's because I have to spend hours going through this because I do want it to be accurate. The last thing I want to do is get arrested. It makes no sense.
This has been going on long since November.
Yes, we've had this for years. But it's just, yeah. I guess what I'm getting at is, does it make sense to you? Like, well, gee, Brent, I mean, it's perfectly logical. So if all we did...
Now imagine somebody like Rena Shearer and Calvin with Shearer Kubota and their entire inventory.
No doubt.
Holy crap.
No doubt. Or if they choose to use after-tax money and add on to a building, taxes go up.
Yep.
Makes no sense to me.
Yep.
I don't get it. Well, if the answer is, well, that's how the government funds itself, and it kind of leads you into consumption tax versus income tax so that everybody feels the
taxed,
pain equally. I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't. And we'll pay it. I mean, we'll pay it because give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. That's fine. But it's just...
If you don't, they'll come seize it all.
It just makes no sense that this is how we've devolved.
Well, because we fund things we never used to fund, and we fund things we probably shouldn't be funding anymore.
Yeah. Now, Judge Zeller might say, well, there's
I don't know so much at the county
mandates.
level. I'm speaking in general.
Yeah. Unfunded mandates cause us to have to raise more money.
Anyone want a couple of Shen Yun tickets for tonight? Victoria Fine Arts Center. This, of course, the Chinese dance ensemble, I believe. I don't know. I'm going. I've heard of them. I've never seen them.
Who's putting this on?
Southern USA Falun Dafa Association.
And for what purpose?
I think they are probably part of the. I think I'm thinking associated with Falun Gong, who are being prosecuted or persecuted and prosecuted in China. I don't know. Ryan St. Jacques is minus 30 in Calgary. Good luck with that, Ryan.
Scott Tomko says, how much of every dollar goes to taxes? I would say...
Commander here, he could Google it.
25%, maybe 30% of every dollar goes to taxes. That's my guess. 30 cents. What do you see there? Oh, great one.
That just shows me. It just shows me your tax brackets. It doesn't
do any calculating.
No.
Well, when you consider that you have a dollar and you pay, let's say, 22% taxes, that leaves 78 cents. And then you go buy something for 70 cents and the other 8 is taxes on what you bought. That pushes you to almost 30%. Cody Bauman says 20% the last time he looked. So between 20 and 30%, guaranteed.
And a dollar that's weaker than it was 10 years ago.
Right. That now takes you $2 to buy what you used to buy.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I guess I have no problem being ignorant. I don't. In fact, I'm actually quite good at it. I don't like being stupid. So my ignorance allows me to say I never really blamed Joe Biden for my lack of buying power. And I don't blame Donald Trump because that buying power in some instances hasn't returned so quickly. I find it disingenuous when the administration is trumpeting, no pun intended, that, well, the price of eggs is down 38%. The price of fuel is down. The price of gasoline being down may be the result of some of Trump's policies, but it's not like Donald Trump, told the oil companies to lower the price of gasoline. That didn't happen. The price of eggs is down in large part because the scare over bird flu went away and the market had time
chickens are laying eggs
to start laying eggs again. I mean,
I do blame the government for the inflation because they were pumping so much money into our economy. And, I mean, our government's share of GDP is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, people are starting to understand that $38 trillion, and I think that was always the disconnect for me with the left, is that the Democrats always seem to feel that there's more depth in the pocket. We can always reach a little deeper. We can always do more for people with other people's money. And you've heard it said the problem is sooner or later you run out of other people's money. And we are literally at that point. The interest on our debt is now big enough that just paying the interest, kicking the can down the road, has become more and more prohibitive. At the end of the day, I mean, these are the types of things that countries go to war over. At the end of the day, it's going to take basically beating someone out of our debt for this to work out.
The federal government accounts for about 22% of U.S. GDP,
Yeah.
as much as 30% of it during the pandemic. And government spending right now, early 2026, is roughly 23% of GDP.
Yeah.
I mean, they're propping up our economy, folks.
Well, and Scott Tomko, accurately, our government pumps a ton of money into a lot of other economies. Ricky King, true
Economies
story.
that wouldn't have anything if not for the U.S. government. But as I've explained before, it's another form of corporate welfare. We give farm aid to some third world country. They then have to turn around and use that money to buy our American products.
True that. Ricky King says it's funny how we don't have, is that a chicken rook? It's not really a cook, is it? We don't have chicken houses burning up and packer houses burning up and animals just dying by the gross. How can that be? As the Republicans are in charge and all these man-made, false, problems go away. Greg Garcia adds, deregulation of energy and fuel affects much of the economy. If it costs less to run it or ship it, then prices will go down, hopefully. Yeah, I agree.
I don't think you're going to get into deflation, but
no, but I mean, in the same breath that I can tell you that I didn't blame Biden. I don't give too much credit to Trump. I do feel like the economy is getting better. I really do. I'm just being objective. I'm not being political. I feel like the economy is getting better, and it ought to give the Democrats pause that I believe it's getting better because of consumer confidence. I feel like
oh, here you go. You're turning a Democrat. Your feelings.
people respond. They seem to, I mean, they always said that the Democrats do better with the economy, but they do on the heels of a Republican president. There's a lag. January 20th doesn't automatically change the economy. It's like, whoa, it's, happy days are here again is not necessarily the song of the day just because you change administrations.
In the last 20 years, consumer confidence was highest in this country by a long shot. During the first Trump administration, it's now about where it was in 2007.
Well, didn't bad things happen in 2008?
Yeah, Obama got elected.
Well, you have so much right now data. There's so much right now information out there that people don't get as optimistic. Tommy Kingston says, good morning, guys. Congratulations, Ash, on your success at the college and the university.
Sir. Appreciate that.
No doubt about it. I just put a simple post up the other day and just I was feeling, I don't know, like nice. I was just feeling nice.
But you were also a little dismayed at the lack of crowds at baseball on Sunday. And that
Well,
played
I am a little
part of
bit,
it.
yeah. I'm still a little bit dismayed at the lack of community support. In fact, I've had 4 times as many people like and comment on my post about Ash as I saw at the baseball game, and that includes parents. So, yeah. But A&M Victoria, very blessed to have you there. It's a wonderful opportunity for them to capitalize on your experience.
Jags baseball dropped the game to Prairie View A&M yesterday. First loss to a D3 team in D1 team in 2 seasons.
There you go. They played another one a while back.
Little verklempt now, thanks. Should we take our first break?
You want to pay bills?
Sure. Got to pay
Got to
taxes.
pay taxes. Palace Bingo, folks, tomorrow night. Is that right?
No, next
Thursday. But you can go tomorrow night. That's what makes
Could go
Palace
tomorrow
Bingo
night.
so
We
much
can move it to
fun.
tomorrow night.
Yeah. Tomorrow's not the night, but next Thursday, the 26th. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Go and have a blast. Raise money for 7 local charities. You'll have a great time.
The chopping block.
White Trash Services, while you look up
I will see
the
what
offering.
they're. Yeah.
White Trash
It's
Services,
Wacky Wing Wednesday.
available to help you in all the No Bull Network. 550-1826. Reach out and talk to a live human being. They'll come out and set you up with weekly, monthly, dumpster, regular trash service. White Trash Services, they're just simply the best in the Crossroads, period, at what they do.
New York strip steaks on sale at the chopping block for $10 each. They've got brisket boudin. If you haven't tried that, that's
It's
really
good.
good. I think the chili patine one is really good. That's probably my favorite.
Yeah, a little kick to it.
Not too much. It doesn't overpower it, but it's got a good kick. The
It's got a
barbecue.
nice beat. It's fun to dance to.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking.
I know that's what you were thinking.
The barbacoa boudin is all the rave, but the brisket boudin is right behind it. They've got a new one, a habanero boudin.
How does he say it? Until then, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Exactly.
Chesnick Furniture, Chesnick and Love, make your house a home. There you go, celebrity sighting. My own Caden will be at the chopping block today from 3 to 6. Go in to the chopping block today and find Caden and tell him that you heard about the chopping block on Wade and Carter, and he'll make sure that you get a discount on your wings. It's Wacky Wing Wednesday at
Everybody gets a discount on the
right.
wings, Yeah.
Don't tell them that.
Shh. Sorry.
But you'll still pay taxes on those wings.
Monty Howard says, I do blame government spending at multiple levels led by our Congress on the one hand and on the Fed on the other for willful fiat money creation for the inflation we have suffered over the previous administration.
Why not just say, guess what? I mean, if you're willing to go into Minneapolis and start wholesale dragging people out of their homes, beating them in front of their neighbors,
Shooting them.
why not just stop spending more money than you take in? Why can't we do that? How would the left feel?
Because how would we pay for schools if we didn't bond them? How would we pay for anything if we didn't?
I have no problem with
send
bonds
out-
and instruments of debt. I'm just saying, how do you keep operating at a deficit where you basically print money to throw at projects? I don't know. And now
Because they can.
But now
Because we've let them.
the rules don't even matter, right? Studies showing that 71% of those who identify as Democrats believe that we need some type of uniform voter ID in this country. 71%, 83% of Americans overall. 83%.
Depending on, I think CNN's poll was higher. I think it was like 90% of Americans agree that voter ID. So,
But the left that is in charge
who say they're in touch with the American people,
say no, no, no. And all that is,
They
you
know
can't
best.
give me any other reason than
well,
that
but it's a poll tax because they got to pay to get an ID.
no, it's just it's fake fake idealism. It is all contrived to allow folks who have no business voting to vote. That's all it is. There is no logic.
Well, here's where I can't understand their argument. If they claim there's no fraud, so then why would they have a problem with voter ID? But they don't. They gaslight you and tell you, well, you're just putting a poll tax on people.
And now they're really just lying to
Yeah.
you that it disenfranchises women.
It doesn't disenfranchise anybody.
Oh, because if a lady changes her name and her birth certificate doesn't add up. Come on.
Patrick Strauss, you're absolutely right. But they want ICE to show an ID.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Buy booze, buy a house, buy a car. Can I have your ID? Open a bank account. Can I have your ID? None of those things. None of those things is as important as voting. So there you have it. It's
those are all privileges. Those aren't rights.
It's just crazy. By the way, voting is not. Voting is a privilege as well. There are people that can have their right to vote revoked. It's dumb. The old DL5. What do you got there?
The old DL5.
Yep, the old DL. You never know when you're going to need to whip this baby out.
I was trying to find something I read a little bit about yesterday, and it wasn't. I do believe now the DMV is going to be pushing this rule that a person
DL5.
must. It's a DL5, I guess. You must prove that you are actually a legal resident of Texas in order to get a driver's license or to even register your vehicle in the state of Texas now. So I guess just another way to ensure that illegals can't just show up here and live their life. How about that? Did you listen to this one lady? She claims that she's not here for a better life, or she's for a better life, but she apparently trying to portray herself online as some sort of influencer. Claims she's from Mexico, but apparently she's been outed as not being from Mexico.
Did you catch her name?
No, I didn't.
She said, "We're not here for a better life. We're here simply to make more money." Said the average minimum wage in Mexico is $15 a day. She said, "Honey, we're not here for your culture. Our culture is better. It's older. It's richer. We have better food. We have better music." And my mind is like, okay. I mean, by the way, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Mexico, steeped in culture, beautiful music. The food is something that we obviously seek here. I get it. Their history is rich. But then why are you here? Well, I'm just here to make more money.
Yeah, and pulled the old $15 a day. I can't even buy a green tea latte and a biscuit or whatever or a granola bar in San Diego. Then move.
Right, then go back to Mexico. I don't get it. Whatever happened to people rising up and making their own country better? What, honestly?
Because they don't have to. Because they can't anymore. The world has relied on the U.S. for so long, and the U.S. has interfered in other countries for so long, that's the expectation now.
It's crazy.
I think there's an easy way to get Iran to back off their plans for a nuclear deal.
Nuke them?
But
I heard the interview with that Keith Ellison. I heard several congressional hearing. Josh Hawley. Trying to remember who else questioned him. That guy's a buffoon. I mean, really, he was terrible. He's at least half black, and I honestly felt like that it was going to be portrayed that he was being bullied by the senators. He just did not present himself well. Really, they pointed out that he had promised some people, it was all public record, he had promised some people he would look into some issues they were having, and like 2 weeks later, he got a donation for $10,000 from those people. I mean, it's just not a good look at all. I really like Josh Hawley, really an intelligent guy. There's also a guy named, I think his last name is Moreno. He's from Ohio, I believe. The Republican congressman from Ohio, really sharp. Really, really sharp.
Pastor John Welder says it's more of what America can do for you instead of what we can do for America, and that is a recipe for collapse. Yeah, basically saying what John F. Kennedy so famously said all those years ago. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country, right? That's not the case anymore. Everybody just wants whatever this country can provide for them.
Yeah. No, too many people are here to take and not to enrich.
No.
They want to take from and not, but they take from. I don't understand. I guess, again, I've been blessed to be an American and even more so to be a Texan. And it blows my mind that somebody would come here and wave a flag from a foreign land and take from this country and yet hate our way of life. I don't get it. Reminds me today is the first day of Ramadan for the
Ash Wade's Day.
Yeah, for the Muslim community that, by the way, come here, benefit from America, contribute to America, but then hate Western civilization. Very interesting. It's got to be a real, I would feel guilty if I were to go and become some type of an oligarch in a communist regime because I don't believe in communism. I can't imagine flip that around and be Muslim and be here and hate the West, but yet thrive in our political climate. I think that the self-loathing would be evident. You would feel guilty for taking from this society that you hate. Very interesting.
I don't think they see it that way.
No, of course they don't, because they're making huge money.
Anybody who comes here then complains that America doesn't do enough to help their country.
Right.
I just
like Ilhan Omar, upset Somalia doesn't get enough love from the U.S.
What about, I heard a story this morning coming in and I missed it, but basically some judge let some guy from Somalia walk on probation while he's facing charges or out on no bail. Pretty serious charges because they convinced the judge that because he's from Somalia, he has no understanding of right from wrong in this country.
Right.
Well, what better place to teach him than in jail?
Yeah, Joe Mitchell says, good morning, spot on. Same Kennedy quote still applies. The take from mentality continues to grow. When do politicians start wishing happy Ramadan to everyone? Did you see where people were complaining that Christians have kind of commandeered the holiday season, that Christians have commandeered and taken over the festival season? Well, folks, I don't know how to tell you, but Christmas is about Christian holidays. Christmas is a Christian holiday. You may choose to celebrate it because you
just because you spell it Xmas.
Right. Doesn't mean that it's not about Jesus' birthday. That's what it's about. And Tommy Kingston points out, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. That just shows you how far and how low the Democrat Party has devolved just in my lifetime. John F. Kennedy would never get elected today as a Democrat saying, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. No way.
No way.
No way he'd get elected.
By the way, FDR really the one to thank for our holiday season, because if he wouldn't have established Thanksgiving on the Thursday in November when it falls, we wouldn't have a complete season.
Kumbaya.
It's all FDR's fault.
Yeah. But I mean, think about that. John F. Kennedy, it was sooner than that, except for some civil rights issues that were mostly just window dressing. I mean, Bill Clinton was basically a Republican by today's standards. A balanced budget, conservative with money. You know, and the difference is the Democrats at least know how to, you know, have some sex. It's the Republicans that are just boring. Mitch McConnell, my old Kentucky home. I don't think Mitch has harassed an intern in decades.
Speaking of that, shocking.
894-4020.
Yep.
Give us a call. Give us your analytical genius. That ought to be a minute worth listening to.
How about this in Major League Baseball? Union leader Tony Clark resigned yesterday. According to The Athletic.
Got to involve a woman.
Yeah.
It's got to involve a woman.
He had an inappropriate relationship with his sister-in-law.
Oh, that's
But
good.
the double whammy was the MLBPA then hired the sister-in-law 3 years ago to go work for him.
So while he was in charge, there was like some quid pro quo. You take care of me, I'll get you a job.
Yeah.
Wow. Very interesting. His sister-in-law. So was it his wife's sister
I don't know that.
Or his brother's wife or his wife's brother's wife? I don't know.
Yeah, don't know. Hockey heating up at the Olympics. U.S. men's team taking on Sweden today in a quarterfinal matchup. That went live at 2:10 on NBC. Canada and the Czechs. Everybody's expecting Canada and the U.S. to play in the gold medal match.
Well,
game.
We will tariff their score and win 1 to 3/4.
President of the biggest soccer club in Ukraine donated more than $200,000 to that skeleton racer who was not allowed to race down the hill because his helmet was too political. But the IOC has done nothing to shut down the post-event media press conferences when all they're asking American athletes about are political questions.
Yeah, I saw one. Did you see that video? This is it's a shame. I mean, I do agree. Just play your sport and shut up. But just listen to this. Listen to this woman here.
It's been a hard time for the community overall under this administration. It isn't the first time that we've had to come together as a community and try and fight for our human rights. And now, especially, it's not just affecting the queer community, but many
Queer
other
community.
communities. And I think that we are able to support each other in a way that we didn't have to before. And because of that, it's made us a lot stronger. I hope I can use my platform and my voice throughout these games to try and encourage people to stay strong.
Yada, 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 garbage, drivel, senselessness. And it's just, it's that deal of our community, and we're stronger under this administration.
That was a bunch of word salad that
Just
meant
terrible.
nothing.
It sounds like AOC trying to answer a question about Taiwan. You see that where they asked her, if you were president, would you support boots on the ground if China were to attack Taiwan? Well, it's a big deal. I know this is important. I mean, she is so embarrassing.
Why is she even at the Munich security conference?
Because they believe that somehow, look at, I think it's just, you know what she sounded like? The stereotype of the beauty pageant contestant. Going, what do you think about the price of eggs in China? I'm for world peace and community. AOC Can you imagine? They're talking about AOC and Kamala Harris running for president in 28. I can only pray. I don't even know any Democrats that would vote for those two fools. I don't.
See if this is it.
Well, you got it on silent here.
Oh, okay, thank you for that. I didn't see that.
You know, you can't. It's not playing.
I'll get it. Just give me a second here.
I hate technical
I
crap.
wasn't planning on doing this, so it's just we'll get it sorted.
Stall
for a second.
I'll stall. I'll tell you what I want. If I'm going to pay taxes on dilapidated electronics, I want somebody sitting in here that when I say play that, it plays. That's what I want. I want that. It's inhibiting my creativity. I want to whine like everybody else whines.
So now the government's responsible for this?
I think so. I'm finding a way, or Donald Trump. You got a bag of nothing. At any rate, I'm better off going low tech and going right here and just doing it. Talk about something else while we're here. Do this. Sell something. Do it. Sell it. The ads are up.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Got to look and see which ones we haven't done yet. Chesnick Furniture Company for all your furniture needs. Go see Bobby Leon and the gang downtown Victoria. Great prices, great deals. Chesnick and Love make your house a home. And you just always do better at Chesnick. Went services for all your electrical needs. Went can basically cover anything you need from an electrical.
I think, China is, of course, an ascendant global power, growing very quickly, acting in its own self-interest. And oftentimes in Washington, there's this frame between conflict and competition. I think sometimes, depending on what's happening, that rhetoric can get a little conflict-driven. And I think that it's really a question of competition, and to the governor's point, fair competition. But when I think about that, I think about how the United States, if you want to assert oneself as a global competitor, the kinds of things that one would do in order to really assert that position.
I just can't. I can't. The idea that any of you, and you know who you are, you would vote for that buffoon over, say, J.D. Vance. It's absurd. It's not even ignorance. It's the sabotaging of America. Yep. It is your hate for America that would allow you to vote for that. She's just an idiot. I don't know how she ever got elected. I really don't. It goes back to the same way. You're going to tell me Barack Obama was elected fairly to become a United States senator? Unbelievable. This is a sitting member of Congress, and they asked her, would you support boots on the ground? And it gets complicated, and there's got to be competition, and oh my goodness! And I tell you, the other one that's just as blatantly stupid. He's cartoonish. Hakeem Jeffries. That guy is an utter clown. If he came on our program, we would literally destroy him in a debate. And we are way down the totem pole on the political.
We are not master debaters.
No. You have too many syllables in there. Good morning, Sheriff Louderback. Hope you're doing well. No, that's right, Joe Mitchell. They won't vote for a Republican, period. It's just unbelievable. By the way, I think he said Obama got elected with 12% voter turnout. She got elected.
Yeah, in her first 12%
12% turnout.
Yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, Kelly Fromme, that's right. The person who forgot to give her talking points on Taiwan.
Yeah.
For the record, the United States cannot sit idly by and let China take Taiwan. And China knows it, which is why they haven't taken Taiwan.
Which is why Canada-U.S. relations are strained right now, because China is making inroads into Canada, and Donald Trump
and
won't allow it.
Canada is kind of like that girl you used to date in high school that she gets mad at you, so she goes out with your uglier buddy, and it's just a grudge deal just to make you feel bad. Canada has no logical reason to be negotiating with China except to say, meh, you don't tell us what to do, United States. It's extremely childish and sophomorish. Now, I'm not saying that Donald Trump didn't invite this. I'm not always defending Donald Trump. I'm just telling you that Canada is cutting off their nose to spite their face. Because you could turn around and say, well, fine then, Canada, let China defend you. Oh, by the way, against China.
Yeah.
Good luck. Let China defend you. China would take over Canada in a day. Can you see the Mounties out there with their little red jackets? I say there's a lot of little yellow men coming this way. It would be bad. It would be over in a hurry. Torrin Bale's exactly right. They think they don't need us until they need us. I've been very tolerant of Canada. Canada needs to know their place. They're not a global power. They just happen to be the top hat. 30 million people. I mean, Texas is much more of a global power than Canada. Period. Same number of people. Probably have more mosques here in Texas than they do in Canada. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Trying to challenge a point, but it's not worth it.
Well, no. The United States is back driving the global economy. The United States is back in charge of what's going on.
Well, then Mark Carney yesterday said something like, well, our talks to be involved in the Golden Dome are going well. Yeah, because, again, Canada needs the U.S. to protect them.
If Canada wanted to be smart, they would go in and be the good cop and help us negotiate with Greenland. That's what they would do. Instead, they're going, oh, we stand with the autonomous people of the sovereign nation of Greenland, which is not sovereign.
Yeah. Canadian dollar's worth about 73 cents U.S. right now.
You want to talk about
When
taxes?
Stephen Harper was prime minister, it was on par. At one point, a Canadian dollar was worth $1.02 U.S. It was worth more than a U.S. dollar.
Yeah, now it is.
That's how far Canada has fallen since Justin Trudeau got elected, and Mark Carney has continued the carnage, pun intended.
So I want you to think about this. You've got $1. It'll buy what you used to buy for, say, $1.50. In Canada, that same dollar that you've got is only worth 73 cents. And the government's taking half of that for your free health care. Yeah. No doubt about it. Monty Howard's spot on, per usual. Andy Rogovich says, we just signed a huge trade deal with Japan, and the dollar is growing compared to other currencies, especially the Canadian dollar, which is way down.
I like how they always point to the Scandinavian countries.
Well, they're all white.
That lady
and everybody's
complaining
smart.
about $15 a day in Mexico won't buy you anything. That might get you a Coke in Sweden.
Right. And I do think the United States values mutually beneficial relationships, but they need to be mutually beneficial. The European countries' idea of a mutually beneficial relationship is when they have the driver that is the United States military in their bag, but they didn't pay for it.
Yeah.
That is their deal. It was Donald Trump who came in. European countries laughed when he said, you will start paying your fair share of NATO or we're going to get out. And they went, Then you realize that 90% of NATO's function is protecting them,
Yeah.
not us. You really think if we get into a bad situation, do you think that, oh, thank goodness Germany sent some troops to help us?
Well, people were surprised yesterday when I think of this Munich security conference was either yesterday or the day before when the revelation was Greece spends more than all the European nations on their military. They've had to.
They have
because the Turks have threatened them as long as I've been alive.
Yeah.
They battled over the island of Cyprus. They have a threat on their doorstep, so they have to spend on their military to keep that threat at bay.
No doubt
Europe
about it.
hasn't had a threat since since the fall of the Soviet Union. So they've just figured, well, we don't need to spend any more. NATO, what's NATO? Greece has had a threat, continues to have a threat.
By the way, it appears we have a fairly decent relationship with Greece. Folks, real quick, USA Concrete Coatings 578 Home. Let Charlie Garcia help you with all your concrete coating needs. He can sand it, seal it, stain it, paint it, whatever you want done. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Let Allen help you get from here to there. If you end up in a ditch, if you end up in a small fender bender, or a large accident, Allen's has everything from a tow hook, literally, to a flatbed trailer to haul off your vehicle. They can help you. Veracruz Restaurant, it is Caldo Wednesday. Get in today and have a steaming bowl of Caldo de Res. It is wonderful beef soup, stew, if you will. It's fantastic. Went Services for all your electrical needs. They do all types of work. They're best known in this community as a general electrical contractor and also as a turnkey generator service. Para Vida Wellness and the Vita Cafe, two different locations, same concept. Healthy fare for you and your family. Get in and get healthy. Get by Para Vida today. And then, of course, the office is here at 205. Very, very fortunate. James Geets, John Paul Hull have created a beautiful atmosphere for your business.
Space for you, too.
They have space for you. Get in here and see them. As always, we're proud to welcome you to the Atzenhofer Studio.
Absolutely.
A South Texas tradition for over 100 years.
Since 1926.
They are doing great. Atzenhofer is booming and ready to help you. What else you got? That was the Epic Times. There's CNN.
Well, they're flat because Colbert went on a rant because he's saying that Trump's FCC threatened me.
It doesn't have to be Trump. See, it's always Trump. So what CBS lawyers, which are certainly not Donald Trump's friends,
No.
CBS lawyers told Stephen Colbert that his interview, which of course is taped and then aired that night, his interview with James Tallarico, Texan running for the Democrat nomination for the Senate, that his interview could trigger the equal time clause that the FCC has. And Colbert is saying, I don't want to interview John Cornyn. I don't want to interview
Ken Paxton.
or Wesley Hunt. I'm not trying to have a political broadcast.
I don't even think he wants to interview Jasmine Crockett.
No, he wants to promote James Tallarico, and that's against the rules. You have to grant equal time when you're in that type of broadcast.
And it has been against the rules forever. The FCC just hasn't
enforced it
because it benefits Democrats.
Right.
And 3 of the last 4 administrations have been Democrat
So
FCCs.
Colbert wastes absolutely no time saying this is Trump's fault. It's fascism. Donald Trump trying to silence anybody who doesn't agree with him. It's Donald Trump. It's not Donald Trump. It's actually CBS's lawyers intervening prophylactically to keep them from triggering something. CBS does not want a Republican or a conservative voice on their late night broadcast. So they're saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's better for us not to promote Tallarico than to be forced to give equal time. Do you see how it's CBS who is actually repressing free speech? And yet Colbert
Is blaming the FCC.
blames the FCC and directly blaming Donald Trump. This is the triggered left doing what the triggered left does.
And the FCC, if they just would have held their standards for the last 20, 25 years, Colbert would have had Tallarico on, and he would have had to give the same amount of time to one of the Republicans.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, it's interesting. But yeah, it's always, but it's the left doing what the left does, right? Never taking any accountability and always blaming others for the problems.
It is funny, though, that you don't have to even think about it. Renee Medding sums it up with the vernacular of the program. Colbert is an idiot. But you have to admit that if you just peel back very few layers, Colbert makes it sound as if Donald Trump called and said, you can't do that.
And I think here's the issue. It's because it's primary season. I think he could have just offered time to Jasmine Crockett because he's running against another Democrat right now. This has nothing to do with him running against a Republican because he's not even up against a Republican right now.
And
so
Colbert does not want Jasmine Crockett.
So he's
promoted.
blaming Trump. So Trump's actually standing up for Jasmine Crockett in this case.
Right.
Make it make sense, folks.
It doesn't make sense. But on the surface, it adds to the little wheel in your head that Donald Trump runs on all the time. He's always running on that little wheel in your head. And no leftist can tell me any different about this. This is not disputable data. This is just the way it is.
Yeah. Speaking of the way it is, we're back to the way it was.
Oh, yeah.
CNN headline. Listen to this one. What has been responsible for our temperatures in the last 20 years? Climate change, right?
Yeah.
Ah! Scientists are rethinking how they track Pacific Ocean temperatures as global warming reshapes climate patterns. A simple yet effective math trick is helping them spot El Nino and La Nina more clearly. So, climate change didn't get the traction they wanted or is losing the traction. We're back to global warming now.
Well, you know why? Because everybody admits that there's climate change. Nobody admits or can be in agreement on the cause. Is it man? Is it nature? Is it El Nino or La Nina?
Yeah.
I mean, and when did that first become a thing? Because when I was a kid, that was not a thing.
I don't remember.
It's almost like they finally realized.
Didn't pay attention to it because I don't think it really impacted Canada at all.
No, it does here, though, and it is very real. It definitely affects our storm seasons.
Well, so they say, but then last year we were expecting to have a busier storm season, didn't have any.
Right.
So who knows?
Hopefully we have none.
Who really knows anymore?
What is that? U.S. women win their first gold?
That was back in 98.
Oh, in 98. Okay. What do you make of, has it been totally disproven? I'm asking this because I don't know. Has that guy Larry Sinclair, they talk about Trump and all this innuendo that he was involved at Epstein's Island and all that stuff. You've heard this Larry Sinclair guy, right? You've heard of him?
I've heard the name.
Larry Sinclair is the guy who claimed that when Barack Obama was a senator, that Barack smoked dope and that Larry did cocaine and that Larry performed certain acts upon then Senator Barack Obama.
Okay.
And then he also claims that Barack came back the next day and that they hung out again. And he just does it very matter-of-factly. He's got dates, times, places. And my thought was,
Maybe he's crazy.
well, he could be crazy. I mean, but I'll tell you this. if Larry Sinclair had said that about Donald Trump, you would know who Larry Sinclair is. That's my point.
Fair enough.
But because it allegedly happened with Barack Obama back in the earlier 2000s, oh, this guy's a nut. This guy's a nut. Very interesting. What do you see?
9 defendants charged with last July's insurrection on an ICE detention facility in Alvarado, showing up in federal court yesterday for jury selection.
Yeah. Wow. U.S. District Court Judge Mark Pittman declared a mistrial after an attorney displayed civil rights messaging in court. Even the lawyers are biased to the point they don't work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting ugly.
Cornyn's scared.
Yeah.
Cornyn's nervous.
Yeah. Wesley Hunt filed a police report. Staffer for Cornyn apparently posted a copy of his unredacted application for a provisional ballot in 2016. And basically it had Cornyn doxed Wesley Hunt.
Yeah.
Put out all his information out there on social media.
Yeah. Social security number, driver's license, and home address.
Yeah.
Attorney General Ken Paxton has launched investigations into 3 more school districts, Dallas, Manor, and San Antonio's Northeast ISD, which is a good district, over anti-ICE student walkouts in recent weeks. It's against the rules. Very interesting.
Dallas ISD asking for what, 6.2 million in
Billion.
bonds, right? Biggest bond ever.
Yeah.
And I think, what did we point out yesterday? That the district has lost 14,000 students. And this comes on the heels of a bond 6 years ago. If your district is losing students, why do you continue to need more and more money?
No, that's right.
It's a question I've got on there.
That's right. Geoengineering is what Kathleen Langer calls it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I think it was just a freak accident that happens every once in a while.
The cloud seeding really didn't lead to the July 4th Hill Country floods. No, they really didn't.
No. We had Chris Martz on to discuss that. It was just one of those freaks of nature that actually has happened every once in a while
all
over
your
the hill
life
country.
And everybody's lives. There's about 1.5 inches of topsoil. Everything else is limestone, and the water just flows out of that.
Anybody wants Shen Yun tickets for tonight? Comment. We got 4 tickets. You can have all 4. You can have 2, and we'll give 2 sets away. Whatever you want.
Yeah, if you want to
see that
go,
tonight.
apparently
interesting.
it should be very pretty. It should be very nice.
Yeah, I'm going to go see it tonight. It should be interesting.
You are.
Can enjoy it. Anybody, comment.
That's today's sign that Marina is in town.
Yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't picture you giving a Shin Yun about that event.
Probably right.
Watch
You're
bunch
probably
of
right. Nobody wants to go, I guess.
indentured communists bouncing around on stage. Renee Medding says 2 Shin Yun, please.
There you go. You got them, Renee.
Aye, comrade. They're yours.
I'll figure out how to get them to you.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Just walk up and show them your red card. They'll let you in.
Yeah. Probably meet you outside the thing.
They're nice. They're reserved seats. They're nice.
Mezzanine level. Starts at 7:30.
Yeah. Look for Ash. He'll be the guy with the cocktail in his hand.
Meet you there at 7:15. How's that?
Out front with a 40 ounce in a paper
Hold the
bag.
tickets up like I'm scalping them.
That's what we'll do. We'll
what I should do.
scalp
Just
them at
scalp
the deal.
'em.
They're not cheap tickets.
Well, they're free.
Well, that's true. Maybe we could scalp them like, you buy 2, I'll give you 4. Like Oilers tickets back in the 70s.
Like Saints tickets when everybody's wearing bags on their heads.
Yeah, you've heard that story, right? The guy goes out and he gets out at the parking lot and puts 2 Oilers tickets under his windshield wiper. When he comes back after work, there's 2 more tickets under there with him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Kathleen, we love you in part because you always love a good conspiracy. I just don't believe that there was any geoengineering involved in that tragedy in Kirby, Hunt, Texas. We love you guys. It's the top of the hour. I hope you have a great day. Special thanks again to Atzenhofer for all they do, to JP Hull and Mr. Geeks for the space. We hope you guys have a great day, and we will be here tomorrow.
We will.
Get by today and have called on Wednesday. You'll be thrilled.
We'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.